That I said it was dead on arrival, even though it was the hot talking point to end 2019, and I was right. Hello, this is the final episode of Office Hours in 2020, and it's time to pay the bartender. I made a video at the very end of 2019 of predictions in social media, business, branding, technology of what would happen in 2020. Well, let's look back, see what the wins are, let's see what the losses are. And as you're hearing this, you're thinking, well, this is an opportunity for Dr. York to hedge his bets. Maybe his predictions didn't go very well. Let's hedge those expectations a little bit. And you would be 100% wrong. No, I absolutely crushed the 2020 predictions that I made in 2019. First prediction, LinkedIn crushes 2020. Engagement, traffic, everything's gonna go up for 2020 on LinkedIn. So to start us off with, I called for a LinkedIn surge in engagement, and it came true. Over 60 million new users, and that's a big number, especially for a social media platform that has been around for a long time. It's not like LinkedIn just came out of nowhere. They've been around. LinkedIn also saw a 26% increase in users' time on the app. Now, I will call it as it is. Some of this could be because of COVID and the economic recession that we went through. People could be spending more time looking for jobs and applying for jobs. So that could be part of the case. No data to say exactly what was the reason, but did LinkedIn engagement increase in 2020? Yes. When? Next prediction, deep fakes become a real issue in 2020. Next, I looked at deep fakes being a major issue in 2020, and it happened, unfortunately. The most respected AI publications deemed deepfakes as the biggest threat to AI moving forward. And the UK was hit specifically hard on this. AI deepfakes spread throughout multiple countries in the UK, basically DMing individuals with deepfake nudes and saying basically ransomware, pay us or we're gonna release this image. And it looks just like you, it's your face, but it's on a nude image that you don't want released. Those deepfakes were able to spit out 30,000 of those images in just one day. So deepfakes an issue in 2020? That's a win. Who will be the president in 2020? I'm not calling who's going to win, but I do see a Biden-Trump clash for the White House. This one's easy. I called both candidates for the presidential election of 2020 in Trump and Biden. Now, you may say that's an easy prediction, right? A Trump versus Biden election for president. It wasn't in 2019, in December 2019. At that time, Biden was in a power ranking, the fourth best opportunity to become the DNC candidate for president of the United States. 4. I called it. Now, if a Democrat wins, I see the government strengthening their hold, possibly breaking up, possibly putting policies on 3 companies specifically: Amazon, Facebook, and Google, if a Democrat wins. However, no matter who wins, I see there being a government interest, a government policy, something associated to TikTok. This is the first time where a social media platform that has grown dramatically is owned and housed in China. So I can see the United States having some sort of interest in what China is doing with all of this data. That's an easy one. I called it right in the rise of TikTok, when TikTok was the most popular new trending thing, when no one was talking about issues with TikTok. Well, there was issues this year, and President Trump actually tried to get it banned in the United States. If that's not a win, I don't know what is. And as far as the other social media outlets, Facebook and Twitter, and I said, if a Democrat wins, that those would be looked into as well. It's happening, right? Even just in November specifically, the CEOs of major social media platforms were called into Congress and to report about and ask questions numerous times about their ability to conduct themselves as social media outlets in the United States. Next prediction, healthcare is incredibly disrupted this year. I really see either Amazon or Google being one of the 2 companies that really disrupt the healthcare industry. And here's an easy one, Amazon disrupting healthcare. Now, this was talked about in innovation communities in theory that tech would be involved in healthcare, but no one was coming down and saying in 2020, Amazon will specifically get into this industry. And they did. Just recently, they started their own pharmacy, Amazon Pharmacy. That's a win. Next prediction, Walmart either creates their own delivery service or buys an existing delivery service. Who would they buy? My prediction, FedEx. Okay, this next one's difficult. All right, this next one's difficult. This Walmart buying out FedEx or making their own. I want to hear from you in the comments. I'm going to give myself a meh on this one, a meh score. So Walmart partnered specifically with FedEx. So again, this was not something talked about in 2019, anything to do with Walmart and delivery services, et cetera, et cetera. But they had this signed partnership, large deal partnership with FedEx in 2020. Now, okay, a partnership isn't buying them, but man, calling Walmart and a FedEx together, you got to give me some credit on that. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Should I take that as an L? Do I get that as a win? Right now, I'm going to give it a meh score. So we're going to put that in the meh column. Next prediction, all of the professional sports leagues, the one league that's going to have the best 2020, the NBA. Why? Specifically because they have the most genuine and an authentic relationship with culture. So on this one, I get a win and a loss. Now, I did say that the NBA would heavily focus on culture in 2020, focusing on diversity, inclusion, and messaging that specifically, and very upfront, not beating around the bush, but getting directly to the issue. Now, obviously that happened. That happened at a very large scale. So I did call that was going to happen. So I'll take a win on that. However, I also said that that authentic brand messaging about values would then translate to higher views. That did not happen. I'm going to take an L on this one. That's a loss. I did not predict that correctly. Now, every pro sports league took a dip in 2020 across the board. I saw that coming, right? That's been happening for years and years. That's not really much of a prediction. Every year, pro sports is going down. But I did feel like messaging and branding the NBA into this idea of values and culture would see either an uptick or at least not decline at the same rate as the other leagues. That did not happen. They saw the exact same decline as all the other leagues. So my thinking was Nike leaning into values and messaging values, Apple leaning into values and messaging values actually increased their price, increased their brand loyalty. We did not see that same result for pro sports when the NBA tried to do that exact same strategy in 2020. We didn't see it. Loss. Another prediction, the championship comes to LA. But on the other side, I did call the NBA champion. LeBron got another ring. That's a win. Next is a marketing and communication prediction. If a company's target market is a middle class, upper middle class demographics, then ad-generated content is completely dead. Okay, next, when ad-supported content is down, specifically with target markets in affluent or high middle income areas, 100%. Look, for example, just Disney Plus. Disney Plus told their stockholders specifically their goal for 2024 would be to get 60 to 90 million subscribers, members to the program of Disney Plus. What'd they get in 2020 specifically? Well, 74 million subscribers. I mean, busting the goal of what they thought they would get membership-wise, showing you that ad-supported content, especially from middle-income affluent individuals, is not the way moving forward. I've talked about this all year on these videos, that this subscription model is the way to go. It proved out to be a win. But I predict that 2020, we're going to see an increase of journalists, specifically new media organizations like Facebook and Bezos and others are going to support the use of actual traditional journalism. Next, I looked at journalists, increase of journalists specifically in digital media. I even said Facebook specifically would increase and actually hire journalists. This happened. We've seen this directly in 2020 where Facebook, Twitter, social media actually got involved in fact checking and actually flagged things from even the president of the United States as being untrue statements. Yes, social media was part of the journalistic process, and they did hire journalists and veteran journalists to help with this fact checking. That's a win. Next prediction. I see Facebook pushing two things specifically in 2020. Facebook is going to push Watch and their News tab. And how about Facebook Watch? A win as well. We're to 140 million daily users of Facebook Watch and up to 28 minutes on average a day watching on Facebook Watch. A large increase. That's a win. Next prediction. Other social media outlets are going to follow the same path of Instagram and hide public metrics. Now, you know it's about time for a loss. And yes, your boy, Dr. York, is going to take another L right here. I said that there'd be less social media metrics publicly. Now, in 2019, Instagram was flirting with this idea, removing public likes and testing this around. I thought that would scale at a much faster rate, especially specifically from a business end to sell more ads. I was wrong. Not only did other social medias not follow in this direction, Snapchat, another social media, literally went in the other direction. And they started releasing just recently, releasing how many followers an influencer has on Snapchat. complete opposite way of public metrics. That's a loss. Next prediction, pretty simple, straightforward. Facebook Libra fails. Now, this one was a hot talking point in 2019. People were all excited. What would Facebook do? Stocks were looking at this. Oh, Facebook into cryptocurrency with Facebook Libra. I said it wasn't going to happen. I said it was dead on arrival, even though it was the hot talking point to end 2019. And I was right. Have you even heard of Facebook Libra in the last year? If you have at all. In Facebook, no one trusts you as a banking service, so Libra is not going to work in the future. That's a win for the prediction. Next prediction is augmented reality, AR, is going to see a huge bang in 2020. I said AR would be a bang in 2020. Now, if I was really optimistic, I would give myself a meh on this one because we're seeing trends on this. And if Apple would have released on a quicker schedule without COVID, I do think without COVID, AR would have been a higher hit because more technology and more products out there. That didn't happen though. So I'm going to give myself a loss on this one. AR did not see that trampoline effect that I thought it was going to have. Is it still increasing? Yes, but a slow rate, not a hockey stick approach. Loss. On the other end, virtual reality, VR, is going to plateau. But on the other side, I was right with VR. I said VR was plateau. It's not going to see this hockey stick approach that everyone else has been saying, and they still say to this day that VR is the future. I don't buy it. I don't buy it whatsoever, and 2020 agrees with me. It didn't happen. Win. All right, so let's tally it up. How many wins, how many losses, and yes, I had one meh that I gave myself. Again, is that a win or is a loss? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what category you think that Walmart, FedEx prediction kind of goes into. Otherwise, here's the wins, here's the losses, here's the one meh. Last week's video was about how Christmas has been rebranded over time, and Janice has the comment of the week. Wow, I never even thought about holidays using branding and rebranding. But now that you mention it, I think Halloween was also been rebranded over the decades. All right, so this is the final video of 2020. This is the final video. There'll be another video released the first week of class in 2021. In that video, I'll give you all my predictions for the year 2021. So I'm working hard on those predictions. I'm tinkering my numbers. I'm looking at trends. A lot of work's going into that. So pay attention, come back in 2021 to see the predictions for the next year. Hopefully I do just as well on those predictions as I did for the 2020 predictions. So to end this year, the last of my office hour videos for 2020, I want to hear from you. What are your predictions for 2021? What things are you looking at? What trends are you looking at for 2020? What are you predicting? What will you put in the comments right now to say, hey, I put my name on it. I think this is going to be a hit, or this is going to gain traction, or this is going to happen in 2021. Let me know in the comments. I'll include the best comment and maybe even use one of your predictions in the next video of predictions in 2021. Look forward to reading it. Again, have a fantastic end of the year. I'm excited to see you in 2021. We'll see you next time.